Good morning to all of you wonderful, lovely people. Welcome to Taiwan. Lovely, lovely Taiwan. So my plan for today's video is just to give you one day in Taiwan, my first impressions, what I think this island, this region, this country, this province, whatever your perspective is. I just want to give you my first impressions about what it's like here. So this city that you see before us is actually Taoyuan, not Taipei. I know most people, their first stop in Taiwan is Taipei. But for us, for me, you know what? I'm gonna hit Taipei on the way back around the island after I go to everywhere else I want to go. So this is really cool. Nice temple right in the middle of the city. Incredible dragon sculpture right here. Massive koi. Look at that dragon. Wow. That's so cool. Right in the heart of the city, you got all the motorcycles buzzing around, and you have this little bit of tranquility and peace right here. The temple right here, Taoyuan Jingfu Temple, is established in 1745 during the Qianlong regime of the Qing dynasty. Really, really impressive. Amazing. So we are not going to go in and bother anybody because they're doing their prayers, their rituals. We're not going to go hassle people, take videos in there. But I do want to say that I love all the exquisite details. Really impressive sculpture work, carving work. Color is amazing too. So bright. You know, one of my really, really major blind spots when it comes to like Chinese culture is kind of like the temples, how they work, how they operate, what the meaning of each one is. You know, different regions in China, mainland China, they have different types of temples, different meanings, different gods. Like down in southern China, we always have Mazu, it's like the goddess of the ocean basically. And we have those temples everywhere. I would imagine Taiwan has similar culture, if not exactly the same. But I don't know enough about it. But I do know that's a really, really beautiful and impressive temple. And very, very different from a lot of what you see in China. Man, it smells actually really good out here. I wonder what that is. I have no idea. Check out these knives. That is not something you're gonna see in mainland China. A bunch of sharp knives on a table. Much more heavily secured. It's about as fresh as you can get. Oh, you. This is like proper old school Taiwan neighborhood right here. I think the interesting thing to me, I gotta say, is that while it feels very much like mainland China, very similar in a lot of ways, it's also just like slightly off, and I can't place what it is. It's almost like kind of like a Twilight Zone version of China. Maybe it's just my mind playing tricks on me. I don't know. Maybe it's just like slightly less crowded, slightly less pushing and shoving. Because some of these markets in China can get really crazy. And it could just be because it's maybe a smaller one here. And that's the difference. But it just felt like a little bit off. I gotta try to place my finger on it later if I find anything else similar. So right here we have yet another temple. A lot of people doing their daily ablutions. And it's just right here on the side of the road. Wu Temple. What does it say? This temple is dedicated to General Guan Yu. He was born in the year 160 and died in the year 219. All right, so straight ahead of me right there is Taoyuan Station. And I'm hoping I can get a train ticket for tomorrow. Let's go see what we can do. I do gotta say though, train station here in Taiwan, much more humble than train station in mainland China. Very easy to navigate. Everything's very clearly marked in English and Chinese. Very cool. Hey, 你好，明天上午去台中。
要几点
10点11点左右。9点半可以。 好，谢谢。
明天呢 ？Tomorrow。
OK，可以，谢谢。So that was even easier than I would have ever expected. The line took like not even 5 minutes. There was, I guess, 4 windows open and they moved very, very fast. You know, sometimes in China, you have, only behind 1 or 2 people and they just take so long to buy their ticket. It's insane. But thankfully, China has changed a lot now, actually. But you can just buy your tickets online and you don't even need the paper ticket anymore in China, so you just use your passport. But there have been times where I've been in line in China at the train station for hours and hours and hours. But here, it's probably 10 people in front of me when I got in line. Didn't take 5 minutes. Everybody just went up, bought their ticket, and that was that. And now as I cross this road, now I'm gonna go try to find some breakfast, hopefully some local Taiwan specialty, something delicious. I did see a place back here when I was on my way to the train station that looked pretty good and looked very busy. So we're gonna see about that. So this is where I wanna eat. There's tons of people here. They got the food panda out here picking up deliveries, tons of people sitting and eating. But I have no idea what it is. I guess it looks kind of like being set like in Hong Kong. So they have like a dumpling with niangao, dumpling with rice cake and hot dog. They have some sandwiches, they have some ham and hash brown and hot dog. It's a lot harder when it's fancy and not genty. 我觉得我要1号就可以。正常就可以。
正常就可以。那要红茶奶茶？
啊？
要红茶还是奶茶？
红茶。
热的。
热的。
喝到冰奶加油。外带啊。
是现在买单还是先做？
现在买单。
OK. So that's my breakfast. Hot dogs look a little rough. Dumpling first. Should be the best part. Nice crispy skin. Really, really succulent, savory pork on the inside. And a nice heaping dose of oil on the outside. Really taste the oil it was fried in, but it's, oil is delicious. Alright, less said about that, the better. And then we have, I thought it's a rice cake, but I'm not sure. Maybe like bai luobo. I think so. Okay, so that breakfast was not the best, not the worst. It was okay. It was only 70 Taiwan dollars, which is like $2 or something ridiculous for the tea and the dumpling and the radish cake and the 2 hot dogs. So it's, I can't really complain, but I certainly don't see why there's a big line up there. But I probably bought the wrong thing, even though that was number 1 on their set menu. So that should have been like their standard, their jiao pai. Anyway, the red tea is good. It's very sweet. Black tea, sorry, hong cha, black tea. Look at this little cutie pie. 哎，你好，是你的狗吗？可以摸一下吗？可以抱，可以抱，抱抱，抱抱。它叫什么？
亮亮，
亮
晶晶的亮亮，你可以这样抱。
Look at this dog. 哦哟，好了，走了。
放在那边没关系啊，你抱走了没关系。
是个小 baby，lazy。
上班累了。
哦，他上班。
他上了1天的班了。
哦呦，他眼睛能看得到吗？
可以啊，他只有这只眼睛不好而已。
你休息吧，休息。拜拜，亮亮。拜拜，亮亮。 Huh? Oh, bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. So this is Daxi Old Street, and compared to the market that I passed by earlier in Taoyuan, this one is much more lively. It's much more, I would say, closer, similar to China. I mentioned earlier, like, there's something a little bit off about the market earlier that felt maybe a little bit like too quiet, maybe. I don't know what it was. This one definitely feels more like very 热闹, very lively. And actually, this one reminds me a ton of the market in Xiamen, in Fujian. Very, very similar kind of feeling. Narrow streets, motorcycles and people everywhere. And of course the hot Fujian and Taiwanese weather. So very similar. You know, call me crazy, but maybe one of the reasons why it feels quite similar is there's probably some sort of like shared culture, shared language, shared history between the people in Fujian and the people in Taiwan. Maybe, you know, it could be a thing worth checking out. Maybe I need to surf the internet a little bit and see. So I already did a really quick walk through pretty much the whole area because I think it's important when you're in a place like this that you do a little scouting run first to decide what to eat. You don't just eat it the first thing that looks good because you're bound to find more things that look good. So there's tons of different food options here. It's really actually incredible. Like, you know, again, compared to like mainland China, like walking streets like this, it seems like way more variety of food. Usually you see like the same 2 or 3 shops every couple of shops in mainland China. But here there's like food from all over. Food from China, food from Taiwan, food from Japan, Korea, like even right here. Hanshi, I don't know what that is. Oh, it's the cookie from Squid Game, I guess, based on that sign with a square and circle and a triangle, maybe? Oh yeah, probably like this. It's like Squid Game. Yes. So there's that, like everything. It's much more variety, much more, I guess, like, I would say multicultural, more developed in that sense. There's just so much food. So we're gonna find some good stuff. You got Thai food, you got hot dogs, you got it all. Some one. Oh. So I guess you bet some money and you get a certain number of tiles and you have to make a line like bingo. Shula. So he's trying to make that spinning top land right here in the center of this table here from about maybe 4 meters away, 5 meters. About a free throw. Oh, he's gonna step closer. See if he can do it. Oh, nailed it. And bang. Oh yo. 这个是一样的吗？到这里。All right, he's gonna try to make on top of the bottle. Here we go. And he's even farther away. This guy's like a real free throw. Oh yo! 加油! Oh yo! 木头. Yeah! Nailed it. Amazing. Guy's really high energy. So here in Daxi, we also have this pedestrian suspension bridge, crosses the river, pretty cool. But one really cool thing that I like about Taiwan so far is there are buskers. Buskers everywhere, here at least. And I mean by busker, if you don't know what a busker is, like a street performer. So right now we have this guy playing saxophone. We've got other performers up the hill. And I love that. That's one of the things that makes a city really feel lively. You know, it's music in the street, art in the street, people in the street. song he's playing right now is from a band called Beyond, and they're from Hong Kong. And a very tragic tale, which I can tell another time. But I met the guy, the drummer from Beyond, in Malaysia one time. So that's another story for another time. But beautiful, beautiful song, beautiful band, great music. There's a lot of things I don't know about China or Taiwan or Hong Kong for that matter. But one of the great things about like traveling and being in a place where you do know some things is you can connect a little bit on a different level. And when you hear a song like this, you're just like, oh, tugs at my memories. All right, first thing we're gonna eat is a little snack that I found. It's a Xiaowulai QQ Chill. So, let's see if it's any good. Not so bad. It's just like a little dough ball with chocolate like paste inside. I'm not exactly sure. It's not overly sweet, a little bit dry. Kind of like a brownie consistency on the inside with kind of bread on the outside. Pretty good actually. Second bite's better. Taiwanese people love their dogs, man. They spoil these suckers. You got more dogs in strollers than babies in strollers. There's a baby in a stroller. You got equal numbers of babies in strollers and dogs in strollers. Yi Fan? 150. 要的。
要吗？
要。
要哈。
可以。There's absolutely nowhere to sit and eat or stand and eat. It's so crowded in there. So I'm just gonna do it Chinese style, pop a little Asian squat. And we're gonna try out the pork shallot roll that I just bought. Nice and glistening fat on there. Now that I'm not sure why there's such a long line. It's totally fine. But it's not that flavorful. It's disappointing. It looks beautiful, but the taste is rather plain, rather disappointing. You know, I'm used to like in Thailand, you have the sweet pork when it's barbecued. This is not so sweet, and then you have the shallots kind of overpowering the flavor. And then like, I told her spicy, not spicy at all. Although from my understanding is Taiwanese people don't eat as much spicy food as mainlanders. So maybe that's why. Maybe this is spicy for them. Very, very popular, as you can see. Look at that line. So I just picked up this, this burrito here. It looks like a burrito, right? But it's actually ice cream with peanut shavings and cilantro. And the tortilla is made from flour. Very, very cold. Ooh. I've never seen anything quite like this before. I've never tasted anything quite like this before either. It's pretty good, especially the peanut shavings. Very nice. But I really don't know what's going on here in Taiwan, man. They're just mixing and matching all kinds of weird flavors. And what the hell is this? So I've had a really, really full and busy day. Been out in the sun like all day, quite tired. And I think I've come to a few impressions of Taiwan, first impressions. First is, for a place called Taoyuan, very, very few peaches. That's number one. Now we have this incredible suspension bridge. This Xiaowulai place is really cool. I really like it. Okay, the second thing that I think I've learned about Taiwan is that everybody here is Filipino. I don't quite understand. That's an exaggeration, but there's just tons of Filipino. Everywhere I go, I hear people speaking Tagalog. So no problem, I have nothing against foreigners. Obviously, I am one, but very interesting sight to see and thing to listen to. And the third thing that I've learned today is that for everybody always saying Taiwan is like foodie's paradise, yes, I did see today tons of different options and varieties, but none of it was really that great. It was all kind of average. Like maybe I just chose wrong, but I chose all the places with the long lines. I chose the places that seemed popular, but you know, maybe people are wrong. Or maybe Taiwanese kind of taste is not for that super strong flavors. Like in China, you want spicy, you get really spicy. Here, I got spicy, you know, not so spicy. And just the flavors overall are all kind of not bland, but just not really heavy. And that's just, maybe I just got the wrong things. And the fourth thing that I've learned today is that everybody in Taiwan seems to be very, very guai, very, very obedient. What I mean by that is like no traffic, no cars coming, but you have a red light. Oh, I can't breathe. You still don't cross the street, you don't jaywalk. You wait for the green pedestrian little man to show you the way. Fifth thing I learned is I can't breathe when I'm hiking and walking and talking. And then the sixth thing I've learned is that it's still quite loud here in the streets. Not a lot of EVs, not a lot of electric bikes either. Most bikes are still motorbikes. So the streets are a lot louder than, let's say, in Shenzhen, for example. And the absolute final thing that I learned today after 24 hours in Taiwan is that fantizi, if it's like shufa, like written, is very, very hard to read. Very, very hard. After spending over a decade in China, I really feel like a buffoon coming to Taiwan because I feel like a child, like a 2-year-old. So you guys gotta really simplify your language over here, you Taiwanese people. Hapoha. I'm just kidding. You can do whatever you want, but it makes it hard for me. And anything that's hard for me, I don't like. If you have made it all the way this far in this video, first off, hats off to you. You know, pretty impressive because I'm not the most exciting person in the whole world. But if you have made it this far, you might be asking yourself, Eric, you've been in China so long. How is this your first impression of Taiwan? You must have been there before, right? And so I'll drop a little inside baseball on you. I have been to Taiwan before, obviously, but I'm saying this is my first impression of Taiwan because it's my first time in Taiwan in about, 5 or 6 years. And most of the last couple times I've been to Taiwan were just business trips. So like 2017, 2018, I came to Taiwan quite a bit, only to Taipei and only for business trips. Basically would come here, have a meeting or two, check out some retail locations, eat some dinner, go to KTV, business, and then go back to mainland China. And then the last time I was in Taiwan for tourism was like 2013 or 2014, a long time ago, a decade ago. And at that time, I really knew very, very little Chinese, whether it was speaking, reading, ting-da-donging, I knew nothing, very, very little. And so my impressions of Taiwan at that time are gonna be wildly different from Taiwan now as a person that can speak some Chinese, can read some Chinese, can understand some Chinese, and also a person who is now visiting Taiwan in a post-COVID environment, right? So I'm sure things have changed drastically in 10 years, not just because of, my own perspectives, my own experiences, my own education and knowledge, but also the world has changed. So I'm trying to look at Taiwan this time with open eyes. And so that's what we're gonna do for the next week or two. Check that out. That is a much, much more impressive suspension bridge there. Bigger, longer, uncut, just like South Park. My references are a little dated, sorry. Only 20 years old. Anyway, check that out. Oh, I can't wait to go walk on that. There are so many mosquitoes out here. I'm getting freaking eaten alive. Oh no! No! The bridge is closed. Was it under repair? Well, obviously I don't want to fall into the river and die, but come on, son. What is going on? I walked my ass all the way down here. No way. This says, at this moment, it's not open, it's closed. This says because of wind or something, I don't know. Jeez Louise. What a huge disappointment. Come on, Taiwan, get it together. I came here to walk on this bridge. Look at how greenish blue that water is. That would have been amazing. Son of a gun. So I just got eaten by mosquitoes, like ridiculous number of mosquitoes for nothing. For nothing. I'm gonna lodge a formal complaint with the Taiwan Bureau of Tourism, and I'm gonna let them know that I am not satisfied. Not in the least bit. All right, time to go back to Taoyuan and look for some shui mi tao. The end is here. Goodbye.